All right. Is everybody here? I guess we're good. 5:32?
I am.
Okay. Call the meeting to order. First item was the Route 44 development. I really intended to get to that. Kelly sent me the information, the contact for that meeting last month, and I was a little bit late in getting in, and I sat down and closed my eyes, and by the time I woke up again, the meeting was gone. So I missed it. So
I never got any info on it either.
Yep. So we're still up in the air on the Route 44 development.
They were looking for water plans for the Montella Street switch they're going to be doing
Okay.
this week. So I sent them all that information. So
Okay.
they must be moving forward. I assume.
Yep. So I'm sure they're moving forward. It's not going to be with Amazon anymore, but it's going to be somebody like Amazon because that's what they're planning on doing. And as far as I know, they're still planning on moving forward. You know.
Excellent.
I'm guessing that's going to happen. It might take a little bit longer than we anticipated, but I'm still guessing it's going to happen.
Yeah.
They've got a little bit too much money into it now to turn back.
I agree with that statement right there.
All right, so next item on the agenda was the service connections for Santana Way. I got an email the other day from the assistant to the treasurer collector. Apparently he's come in and paid his fees for the next 3 units. 30, 31, and 32 are all current and paid for. So he's good to go with those 3. And as far as I know, he's still current on everything. I check in every so often with the finance department. They're not telling me that he's holding anything back. In fact, I got an email from the treasurer collector. She wanted his phone number. Apparently, he paid too much in taxes, so she wanted to get back to him on that one. So as far as I know, he's current. What I would like to do is maybe have a motion to authorize Mike to open the connections whenever Glenn is ready for the units 30, 31, and 32.
I'll make said motion.
Okay, we got a motion and a second from either Steve or Will. Any further discussion on that? All those in favor?
Steve says
Aye.
Will says
aye.
Kevin says aye. It's unanimous. So, Mike, whenever he's ready to go ahead and open up those connections, he's good to go. All right. So now we're back into the FY22 budget. I spent quite a bit of time with this yesterday, and it looks a lot better than I thought it would. Just some points that I wanted to touch on. Water usage charges. We had an increase in our water rate 2 years ago, and I just kind of want to get a consensus from you guys as to whether or not we should consider another increase this year, or whether we want to kind of hold the line on what we have.
I have a problem doing it every year.
I would tend to agree with that, but I think we should at least look at it every year. Even if the answer that we give is no, we need to look at it every year anyway, just because.
I agree with that.
Okay, so you guys are not in favor of having an increase this year. We did it 2 years ago. April of 19 was the last time we had it.
April 19th, so we're at 2 years ago. So
July 1st, right?
Correct.
So we've only got 1 fiscal year under the new rate.
Absolutely. That's true.
So if we don't raise it, then that'll give us the 2nd fiscal year, and then we can think about changing it next year.
Okay.
I agree with that.
Okay.
I would like to attract more customers.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have a rate that's pretty high already. We're not the highest, but we're pretty close to it. So I think, again, I think a higher rate will tend to detract from, people will conserve more because water is expensive. And we don't really want people to conserve, we want people to use their water. Okay, so that was, now the transfer from the general fund, I kind of reviewed this a little bit yesterday. If you look at all of our revenue sources, the betterments and the water use and the IRS subsidy, the transfer from the general fund, which includes the pilot and the diff. I did the math on this. Here we go. All on our own, the money that we generate, that we generate for ourselves is $355,411, or is anticipated to be that in FY22. The subsidy this year is going to be $190,000. So you can see that we're on the right track. We're generating our own revenue, and I think pretty soon we'll be able to get away from the subsidy from the town, and I would love to be able to do that. I don't think we're quite there yet, but I want everybody to know that we're doing pretty well on our own as far as like revenue goes. And we can come back and kind of, as I review through the budget here, we can come back and we can look at that $190,000 that the town is going to be subsidizing. Steve, I have a question for you. In your experience as treasure collector, what kind of rules are there around the use of free cash?
Oh, the town can use free cash any way they want.
Exactly, but does it have an expiration date? Do we have to use it this year, or if we were to say if we get,
you gotta use it the year that town meeting gives it to you.
Yes, but
Unless it's a separate article. Like when they use free cash to build like the fire station, the police station,
exactly.
because that's a project, that can stay until it's spent.
Okay.
But any of free cash that goes into any of the budgets has to be spent in that fiscal year.
In that fiscal year, okay.
Because then it just becomes free cash for the following year.
Exactly. If, and I'm going to ask this question kind of a little bit prematurely, if we get to the bottom line of our budget and we decide that we don't need $190,000 from the town, we only want $175,000. We want to give them $15,000 back again. What are they going to do with it?
It becomes more free cash for them to spend.
Right. But suppose they don't have anything to spend it on. Suppose Rick and
Then it
Meg.
becomes free cash. Then it becomes free cash the following year.
Okay. So.
The Department of Revenue certifies free cash
Okay.
every year.
Yeah.
And every year, the town usually tries to spend the free cash on one-time only expenses.
Exactly.
They try to keep it out of the budget.
Right. Exactly.
Now, they've been giving us free cash to pay down our debt.
Yes, it's been going towards our debt.
Right.
But
Which
it's
really isn't a one-time only. That's kind of like.
well, yes, I know you and I can agree on this. Suppose we get to the bottom of our budget and we decide that we don't need all $190,000, and I don't want to jam a wrench into the works for Meg or Rick. They've worked pretty hard for us.
I definitely believe that if we don't need 190, we shouldn't be taking 190.
Okay.
We only need
I agree with that 100%.
75.
Okay. All right.
What do you think, Will?
I agree with you 100%. I don't think that we should only ask for what we need. And the only reason why we need is because of our debt. If we don't need that because things have dropped off throughout the fiscal year or the past couple of fiscal years, correct me if I'm wrong, last year we were at 200 and something that we got from the town, right?
It was an even 200, yes.
Okay. So, I mean, we're obviously heading in the right direction, but if we get a little bit more from the diff, or if we get a little bit more from new revenue or what have you, then if we're down at 170 or 165 or something like that, that we have to ask the town, I don't want any more than what we don't need, because obviously we've worked hard to be fiscally responsible. The only question that, and the concern that I have, is as long as that we're putting away enough in our emergency reserve for like the membranes and stuff like that, I'm happy. You know, it'll be a happy day when we can get to that point where we don't have to ask the town for anything at all.
Yep, I would tend to agree with that. However, I'm going to play a little bit devil's advocate here. We do have about 30 more years of debt service that is going to be required.
Yeah.
If we take the full 190 and we only spend 160 of it, 30 of it is going to end up in our retained earnings, or the district's version of free cash. It's going to end up in our reserve as money that we can use for things like membranes and future debt service.
I think that's wrong.
You do? Okay.
Well, I see where you're bucking up the tree, Kevin, on that end. Let's take that one step forward. So last year we had 200,000. The year before, I know it was a lot more, and that's when Michael told us, you know, listen, I can only give you 200,000 out of the town's budget.
Yes.
You know, I firmly believe in the next 2 years we're going to have a dramatic downturn in revenues coming from the state that's going to be coming to the town. That's going to decrease the amount that we can get from the town, I would assume, to cover our capital debt. I see where you're going with that, and trying to take, if we asked for 190, we only needed 174 to pay our debt, to take that extra amount of money and dumping it directly on our debt, our capital debt. I like that idea, because the town worked that in their budget. As long as it doesn't cost a teacher a job.
Exactly.
You know, sooner or later, we're gonna, the Whitworth property, the Route 44 property is gonna bust, and then we're gonna have that extra revenue income coming from that, and that will help us immensely, not only with, you know, flow coming out of the ground and more sales, and boost our revenue that way, but also in the diff, we'll get the excise taxes and stuff on the trucks and everything. So that round number should help us.
Okay.
But I like what you're thinking. I mean, I understand, you know, that's Steve's forte, and Steve's, you know, and that's why we love having Steve on that, to keep us square. But,
Oh, yeah.
you know, if you remember correctly, JQ Adams did the same thing to us,
Yep.
you know, so.
Steve,
So
any thoughts?
I'm good.
I just think that we should only take what we need. I
Okay.
mean, we want to be fiscal responsible.
Yep.
And the three of us know we take a little bit of crap from some of the taxpayers.
Yeah, we go.
Because we're supposed to be fiscal responsible, and we haven't been so far. And I don't want to bring up the $850,000 in benefits. So
Yep. Yep.
I mean, the whole thing was laid out to be independent of the town.
Yes, it was. And it just didn't quite.
Unfortunately, for two water commissioners that are no longer on the commission, they put the commission in that situation. And I think we should only take or ask for what we need.
Okay.
My opinion.
Okay.
Nope, got it. Okay, so moving into the expenses part of it, we're into commissioners' salaries. If you guys are interested in in having the stipend paid, we should probably fund that line. We haven't in the past. We pulled money out of that to put into other things. So I put 600 back into that because that would basically cover our cost. If we all took our stipends, it would be 600.
Okay.
Okay.
Repair.
I know that last time that we had met, Mr. Chair, I know that Steve voiced that, you know, we should start taking that. And what does that entail?
Well, it comes to us automatically unless we provide the proper documentation to the finance department. They'll cut the checks in April.
Got it.
Okay, repair and maintenance facility and equipment. We left that line alone. That was 3,500 the last fiscal year. We're gonna leave it at 35 this fiscal year. Repair and maintenance of the generator, we dropped that by about $500. I'm guessing that it won't cost us quite as much to keep this generator running as the last one. However, there is more information there, I guess. Maintenance of the well, we have 11,000 last year. I left that the way it was. Telephone and SCADA was on a kind of a trending up, and it looked as though we were going to need to add some money to that. So good. They added, went from no, I left
Why
it.
did that go up so much? I was looking at the phone bill and the bills for today.
Yep.
I mean, just looking at the actual phone bill.
Yeah, we pay about $400 a month.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money, but we have multiple lines going into the building, and it's $400 a month. So it says on Meg's worksheet, it says trending up, and the average doesn't work, and we should probably add in an escalator, but I did not. I left it at 4,800.
You should be able to drop some lines off now that the fire service isn't being monitored by phone lines. That's 2 lines right there by itself.
Okay.
So originally we had 5 lines coming in.
Yeah.
So we should be able to drop at least 2, if not 3, because I'm sure we could do the same thing with the security phone.
Okay. I will talk to, I'm going to write myself a note here to talk
Well,
to.
the only reason why I brought it up, Kevin, was
Yep.
it's at 4,800 now.
Yes.
At 400 a month times 12 months is 4,800.
It is.
So I'm curious of why we're trending up.
Well, the phone is up.
If it's only 377 this month.
Yeah. Well,
Something's wrong there.
I'm gonna have either Dave Siedentop or Jill look at the phone. Maybe we can like Mike says, maybe we can drop a couple of those lines off, and that should save us some money.
Well, I'm just saying the math doesn't work based on the one bill that I have to look at.
Yeah, and that's about average is that 377. So.
Yeah.
So we can leave that alone at 4,800. We can leave that. Propane, I left alone because we should be using less propane now that we don't have that big hog.
Yeah, that baby generator takes like 3 gallons in 24 hours.
Exactly. So I scaled that back. Where I left that at 4,500. So we should be good there. Electric is something that we have. We're contractually obligated to Solaire to provide to increase I think it's 2% annually. So
Yep.
the electric, when I looked at December's reports, the electric looked really high. We were running about 58% when we should be running about 50%. But that may be because the credits. I know there was an issue with the solar panels a few months ago. It's possible.
Yeah, they had some damaged.
It's possible that the Eversource credits haven't quite made it to us yet. So that's running a little bit high. But again, I think we should increase that. I increased that to 31,000 from 29.
Right.
Figuring that we have a little bit of wiggle room there. Electric has been one of those things that we tend to chase. So I think maybe we can get out in front of it a little bit by adding a couple thousand to that line. Legal, I left at 2,000. It's possible that we could be using some of that, but I don't know. We haven't used it in a couple of years. We should have something there because it doesn't take too long to go through $2,000 when you're talking about lawyers. Chemicals and testing, I left that the same. Meter replacement, I left that the same. Backflow testing, I left that the same. Insurance has been hurting us a little bit. Last year it was 76 something, and we only had budgeted 73. So I'm increasing that to 7,700. And we might be chasing that one.
Right.
Too. I don't. Insurance is one of those things. Recording secretary is 1,000. Water operator services is 74,000. We are contractually obligated to about 72,000 with small water systems. But we like to add in a few percentage because we can spend over on that account by about 15% without violating procurement rules. So we leave a little bit extra in that line. Billing support. We looked at this last month, the USB bill. We didn't pay it because it looked like it was high. But that is actually what we paid them last year, was that $1140. So I increased that from $600 to $1,200 because we were short there.
Okay.
I also authorized Jill to pay that bill.
I hope that's in today's pay the bill.
It would have been in last month's. I authorized her to pay it in last month's bills.
Oh, you did?
Yes, I did.
Got it.
She gave me an explanation as to the reasons why it was what it was, and I accepted that.
That's going to require a motion.
Yeah.
When we pay bills, that's going to require a motion to increase batch one based on if she paid it last month,
Yes, okay.
right?
We can do that.
Okay.
We can do that. And other professional services, I left that one at $6,000, 6,000 as well. That's engineering, water testing, those kinds of things. Dues and fees, I left that at 1,000, and the reserve account I left at 7,000. Now the last line is indirect costs, and Meg may not have. She did plug in a number here of $67,658, but she may not have an actual number on that until we get a lot closer to town meeting. She has a formula that she uses for determining, what the indirect costs for the district are going to be. Means that the subtotal for our operating costs are $234,208.
234, 208?
Correct. Now, if you look at the revenue side, we also have debt service on top of that. So total expenditure is $466,064, which leaves us with a a surplus balance of $79,347. Mostly because of debt service that fell off this year.
Kevin, give me that number again. 76,000?
The surplus,
Yeah.
79,347.66,
All right, thank you.
which means that realistically we could reduce the amount of subsidy that we're getting from the town. Realistically, I think that's a realistic thing. I wouldn't say that we should give them all 79,000 back again, but I think we could afford to give them 15 or 20 back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that number. I like 20.
Okay,
That leaves us with what? 79 minus 20 is 59.
yes,
How do you feel about 20, Will?
I don't have a problem with 20.
okay.
About a third.
Yeah, roughly, exactly. Yeah. Let me plug this number. I got the spreadsheet up in front of me. Within 170. Okay. All right.
Excuse me.
Terrific. Row 6. My spreadsheet's not recalculating for me. She might have.
Recalculating.
Yeah, it's like my spreadsheet won't recalculate for me. I'll have to touch base with Meg on this one personally, but I'll tell her that we're going to reduce the request for subsidy from free cash from 190 to 170.
Yeah,
Okay?
Yep.
I'm happy with that.
Okay. So, do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the North Carver Water District's FY 2022 budget. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Will I?
Kevin says aye. It's unanimous. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
It was wonderful. It's always good to get the budget out of the way.
Well, job well done, Kevin.
Well, you know what? This isn't my first rodeo.
I feel like it's going much faster now than it used to. So that's good.
Well, you know, we used to have a lot more people involved. Now they don't want to be involved. So it's just us. All right.
That's
well,
scary.
Yeah, it is.
I actually don't have a problem with.
No, we're doing fine. If we're finishing the end of the year without spending more money than we're authorized to, and we don't have to go back in December and say, look, we screwed up. You know, we got to be doing something right.
I agree.
All right. So, well maintenance, Mike.
So the well company we got the bid from all came down with COVID.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
When I tried to schedule, I was like, oh, okay. So they are scheduled to come out on the 23rd to do both wells. So that's not this week, but the following week.
Yes.
Because I needed to have it done because I'm going for my surgery March 11th. So then I'll be
Okay.
out of work for months at that point.
Okay. All right. So you're out on March 11th.
Yeah. I'll still be available by phone because I'll be sitting on my butt for 4 months going crazy, staring at the wall.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Uh-huh.
so don't hesitate if you have questions to call. So that's what all my employees know.
Okay.
But I wanted to get this done before that point just because it can get complicated sometimes.
Yep. Okay.
It makes me feel better that's pretty much the biggest headache that we have and the most complicated issue that we have. So I wanted to make sure I was taken care of before I'm out.
Okay. And I saw an invoice for advance on the work. So you have the parts in hand.
Yes. Yep. Pumps all got delivered last Monday. So
Okay.
the pumps and motor are sitting at the treatment plant as we speak.
Perfect.
Other than that, FM generator was supposed to service our generator
We
2
were.
or 3 weeks ago,
That
and
was-
I don't know if they did or not. And I told Dave Siedentoff that I marked the oil filter and the air filter with a Sharpie,
Yep.
and they weren't moved, which wouldn't be the first time FM generator has told Swiss that they service something and not. But I haven't been able to get an answer from Dave if they actually came out or not.
Yeah, they were supposed to come out on Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday.
Yeah.
Which I thought was strange because that's a holiday.
Yeah, it's not a holiday for Swiss though, so I was like, oh, I left the gates open, and Dave couldn't confirm or not whether they came or not. So,
Okay, so I'll touch base with him on that as well.
I got more stuff for you to touch base with.
Yeah.
The phone lines have been down for 2 to 3 weeks for our alarms, so I have no alarms coming out of the treatment plant. And I talk to Dave like twice a week about it, and
Okay.
he keeps telling me he can't get a hold of Verizon.
Yeah. Okay. There's no surprises there.
I'm like, we have no alarms. Kind of important.
Yeah, but it's Verizon, you know.
So I just remotely log in once in a while just to make sure everything's still functioning. We haven't had any issues, thankfully. But
Okay. Well.
still drives me crazy.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It should. It should call you if something goes wrong. It should call you.
Yeah.
That's what it's there for.
Absolutely. Other than that, I did a mark out for security cameras or traffic cameras they're putting up on the overpass of 44.
Okay.
So they were worried about our water main. And then I got contacted, like I said, I believe it's for the people doing the Route 44 development there because they're changing that Montello Street intersection
Right.
last week. So I gave them all our as-builts that we had on computer file and stuff like
Okay.
that. So
Yeah.
that seems to be moving forward now, at least.
Yep.
Other than that, everything else has been going pretty smoothly.
Okay.
I haven't heard from Santana Way. I assume he'll be contacting me sometime soon since he just
Well,
paid that.
Yeah, I got a notice the other day that he paid. So.
Yeah, I got the same one, so I assume he'll be contacting me this week, if not the following week afterwards, just to turn everything on.
Yep.
And I also
Cool.
spoke with Indian Head, and he is very much would like to come in and have a meeting with you guys to try and figure out a plan to move forward with the fill station. He would like to get water again.
Okay. We had an idea. We had an idea about we could maybe pay it, and that so that was our thought with him. But his of course his first step was always going to be, he's going to have to pay up. Now that that's done. Now that that's done, I'm very interested in selling water.
Yeah, that's what I told him. I was like, they'd most likely be willing to sell to you again, but you have to go in and have a sit down.
Yep.
Because I told him I was out of
Who was
out of
that
my
with?
hands.
Indian?
Yes.
Yeah. Roland.
Ugh.
Well, just save up your thoughts. We'll have a conversation.
So
with them.
we should have a conversation on a security if he's going to do that
Yep. Exactly.
or something.
Yep. Absolutely. Yep. He needs to have some skin in the game. Because
Yeah, or whether it's a Steve, this is a question for Steve. Can we ask for some type of a bond or a surety or something like that?
I thought we were gonna make him pay us up front.
Yeah.
Well,
Cost of a lock.
What's that?
What's the cost of the lock? The locks that are on that's on the pump.
Oh, I don't know, $10 maybe?
This is my thought. Buy a couple of locks. Gives us 5,000. When he gets the 5,000, when he gets, let's say 5,500, we change the lock. And we give the guy across the street, TLC or whatever, the other
Yep.
guy that's using it,
Yeah, SLT,
the
yeah.
new key. And that's how we keep control. If we have like three. How much is a lock? What's a lock cost?
Probably like $10, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Yeah, locks
So
aren't
you got
expensive.
You got 4 locks at $200, right?
Yeah, okay.
And
Or more.
and he only gets the key. Let's say he gets to 5,500. We change the lock.
Okay,
He comes and gives us another 5,000. We put the old lock back on,
okay.
and we tell the guy across the street, who's now got 2 keys and we trust.
Yeah, because he pays his bills.
We switch back to the other key.
Okay.
Does that sound pretty simple?
yeah. I didn't sound that confident out. Let me think about that. We chased him pretty good. So let me just think about that for a second. The other thing is just for a little FYI, I don't know, Michael, when the last time you was up there, but we might want to do some maintenance on that shed up there or the pumping station. Last time I was by there, probably in October when I was at MBO Precast. That building's looking a little bit in need of some loving.
Yeah, I've screwed in pieces of that T111 that's been crawling up and tried to resecure some of it.
So we might want to take a look at that. I don't know what you guys feel about maybe just getting an estimate on what might need to be repaired, or asking Mike to come up with kind of like a little bit of a breakdown of what might need to be taken care of. Because I would not want to go back and have to replace that whole thing because we neglected it.
Right.
I don't know the last time we did anything out there.
Yeah, besides me resecuring some T111 that curled up, nothing's been done to it.
Yep.
I think that's a good idea.
Yep.
So is that, Mike, is that something you want to take a look at, or you want me to go out there and take a peek at it and bring back to the board on our next meeting?
Yeah, I can take a peek at it, or if you're in town, you can take a peek because you might have better ideas on what needs to be done. I can find
All
the
right,
obvious stuff.
Yeah, why don't you do that, and I'll go out there and do an assessment, and we'll compare notes. Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, I'm making a note.
Kev, what else? Are you still there, Kev? Did I lose you?
Nope, I'm still here.
Okay, there you are, my friend. That's all I had for a thought on that.
Makes sense before it gets bad.
Yeah.
Other than that, everything else has been going pretty smoothly. I expect we'll be reading meters again sometime in the near future, and then I don't know if that
Michael,
gentleman who contacted me about the parcel next to the gas station is moving forward or not. I haven't heard back from him again, so.
No, I haven't. I asked Jill about that, but she didn't get back to me either. Mike, Steve has a question.
Okay, go ahead, Steve.
Michael, you hear anything new about the town pipe going up Plymouth Street?
No, I have not. I can check with the Board of Health, though, this week to see if anything's happening with that.
Yeah, because we haven't heard anything since that engineer came in and we asked them to put the pipe under the river instead of over it.
Yep.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, because I think that's the Board of Health that's running that, correct?
It is. That's the Board of Health's issue right now. Good for them, huh?
Yeah. Wasn't that better then?
Yeah, I'll check with them
Sorry.
tomorrow.
Okay. All right. Do we want to pay some bills?
Yeah, but what I want,
Yabba-da.
what I want to do is do that adjustment on that dash.
Okay.
So if I'm correct, the batch we passed was 275565.
I don't remember that.
Well, I write it all down.
I know you do. That's what we
What's the
want.
westernmost county?
It was the amount that we took out was $1,190.
Right.
So we
So
subtracted that out.
I want to revise batch number 1
Okay.
from the meeting
From last meeting.
January the 11th
Yep. Okay.
to $3,845.65.
65 cents. 2,845 revised.
Oop,
Batch
I'm wrong. $39.45.
39.45. Batch.
I just double check my addition.
Okay.
I'm not using a calculator. I'm doing it in my head.
Wow. I can't do that. What was the date on that? January what, 7th?
We passed batch number 1 on it was January the 11th.
January 11th. Okay. January 11th. Revised batch 1, January 11th. But is that a motion?
Yes, and I think we should authorize you to, the finance, they may need somebody to re-sign the warrant.
Yep.
And I
Okay.
think that we should authorize you to sign for us,
Okay. That's a good idea because
because they're gonna ask for it.
probably. Okay. So Will's gonna,
Here a second?
All right, so you're gonna combine all that in the motion. I'll second that if that's all a combined motion.
okay. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Will I?
Kevin says aye. All right, now, today's bills.
All right, give me a number for batch number 1.
Batch number 1, $7,366.96.
All right, I looked through the bills 4 and 5. I didn't see anything. I don't know if Will saw anything. But I'd like to make a motion.
No, I briefed went over Ted when she sent it to me.
I make a motion, we pay our bills, batch number 1, $7,366.96, and we authorize the chairman to sign the warrant.
That's good.
I'll second said motion.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Will,
Kevin, aye. Unanimous. All right.
Make a motion, we pay batch number 2 for the tune of $6,000.
I'll second said motion.
And authorize the chairman to sign the warrant.
I'll second said amendment for that.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Steve says aye.
Will I?
Kevin says aye. Thank you. Perfect. All right, so we had a set of minutes.
Oh, we did.
Oh, we did it? We didn't?
Yeah, but it was the June 14th again.
Oh, okay, December 14, yeah, okay.
So I make a motion, we do the January 11th minutes. The next meeting when we do February the 8th.
Okay. All right, so we don't have any minutes. All right, so.
So that was just tabling those, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, they were the same minutes we passed last.
Yeah, we were. We noticed that.
All right.
All right, so we have a little bit of correspondence here. Okay. Jill sent off a letter to CEI, registered letter. And we did receive a return receipt on that, so he got the letter. It was a gently worded kind of thing. Something about we'd like our stuff back. We had a question from the business owner that apparently there was an issue with sampling at the Pit Stop daycare from 3 years ago, and the DEP finally caught up with us this year. But apparently it's all been taken care of. So
Yes.
we sent the issue to Mike, and he said it all been taken care of. Kathy was looking for Glenn's phone number. We had a markup request for property down in South Carver. Apparently they didn't understand that we don't go quite that far south. Area 58, broadcast live anytime we're in meeting room 1. And if it's being broadcast, it's going to go out live. And that came across my desk. The propane from Wrightington. It appears that it's kind of fallen through the cracks because of COVID. But Elaine Weston, the assistant to the town administrator, is aware of it, and that she is going to follow up with it. So I'll put that again on my list of things to Dave Seaton talked about. FM generator is coming out Monday, but I think this is what he did. And Dave Seidentop also asked the commission if they would be willing to donate 35,000 gallons for the fire suppression cistern at the new police station. I told him that it would be okay. Mike, did he ever get a hold of you?
Yes, he did. That's how I spoke with Indian Head, actually, and they actually Indian Head supplied the water without using the fill station for that, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Does that require a motion?
I wouldn't think so. They didn't end up taking water from us, did they?
No, I don't believe so.
Indian had gave them water instead. So I told him it would be okay. He just needed to coordinate with Mike, but apparently he coordinated with somebody else instead. You notice that Glenn Prioli paid off $5,000 per unit 30, 31, and 32. The invoice for small water systems for the well repair, which we talked about. Oh, the ethics letter. Steve, did you get that?
Ethics letter?
An ethics letter. You need to
Oh, yes, I did.
you need to do your ethics thing again. Will sent.
I've got it, but it's right. Signed documents over here. Like truck keys for the next time I hit down south.
Okay. Will told me that he was all set. He had already done it probably through his town. That was.
Yeah, I had to do it for. I had to
Okay.
do it for the town of Falmouth, so I did it for all the towns and just sent it to each one of the clerks.
Exactly. And that's it. That's it as far as that's all I have for correspondence. We set a next meeting.
Awesome.
All right. Make a motion,
Second Monday in March is going to be the 8th.
I make a motion, our next meeting is March the 8th at 5:30.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Steve says aye.
Will says aye.
Kevin says aye.
Motion we adjourn.
I'll second said motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor?
Steve says aye.
Will says aye.
Kevin says aye. All right, thank you, everyone.
Have a good night, guys.